So I didn't get food poisoning, but I wasn't very well, and I'm happy to talk about this as well. Like,
okay, right, we're going too far.
We'll get on to poo at some point.
I legit don't know what your job title is.
Senior digital producer.
You had to think about it then.
Yeah, I know. So basically, I mean, it's senior digital producer, but I'm kind of not at the same time. Like, I head up the actual team.
Okay.
So it's kind of like head of digital for soaps, but we'll just say senior digital producer. So I've got a team of really good producers.
Okay.
And I basically just manage them. But that isn't to say that I don't go on shoots and stuff. Like, I'll still go on shoots and I'll still like help produce them and like help produce the content. But I basically guide them to do a great job.
To do a good job, got you.
Yeah.
So let's take a step back. So what does a digital producer do in TV world?
So it's basically all of the behind the scenes, all of the stuff that you see on like any social media platform. That's what they do basically.
Okay.
So like, for example, in the TV world, obviously there's like someone who will sit, and I've got a great person who does this, but she'll sit and basically go through all the episodes and she'll make content just from the episodes.
Right, okay.
And then I've got a couple of other people who are also equally as brilliant. And so basically, like on one of the shows, they'll go and like film all the behind the scenes stuff. And like if there's a storyline that's about dementia, for example, which we've got coming up, they'll basically go away and be like, oh, what can we do that's bigger?
Okay.
So like not just behind the scenes on set, but like what can we do with like charities or something like that? And then you just like package that up together.
And have you guys got autonomy to go out and make those decisions about what you want to make content? Obviously, I guess it's being guided by what works well on the socials to get the point of it, I suppose, is to push people towards to watch the soaps, right?
Or to at least interact with our stuff online. Because I think some of the younger generations, they're not going to sit down and they're not going to watch it every night. But they'll religiously watch our stuff online.
Really? That's so interesting.
And like sometimes they'll watch the show through our stuff. So for example, if we know that there's a really good character that's going to perform really well on TikTok, every single scene with them in, we'll pretty much put them on TikTok. And then the younger audience will follow that storyline through that.
And they wouldn't watch the soap necessarily?
No, but they'll just watch that.
How strange.
I know. And they'll watch it on YouTube as well. So like the actual clipping up of the show is really important. Like you wouldn't necessarily think that. You'd think behind the scenes get all the extra stuff. But actually, clipping up of the show is really important as well.
How is your time spread across different, what do you call them? Products, soaps, like what?
Shows,
do you know? Shows? I don't know. Yeah.
So I'm 50-50. I'm split between the two shows completely.
Okay, right, got you.
And then like the way the team is, like some people are 50-50. Some people are like pretty much mainly on one or the other.
Okay.
And then it depends. It depends on like the storylines coming up for the year. So I'm kind of working like 6 to 12 months ahead.
Wow.
And then a couple of other people in my team, they'll be working 3 to 6 months ahead.
Okay.
And then some people are like on it, like on the night kind of thing. So like it depends what's coming up. Like,
so what's the first jumping off point for you if you've got a storyline, dementia storyline, for example? You find out about that 6 months in advance, let's say. Is that probably right? 12 months?
12 or 6, yeah.
And then what's your process then of, do you have a bank of ideas already in your head of like, oh, we could probably do that. If a story comes up about this, we could probably, have you got like a library of ideas that you can pluck from, or do you round table it and come up with ideas?
A bit of both.
Okay.
So I think everyone in my team, like we've all been there for at least like 2 years now. So in that world. So we've all got loads of ideas.
Yeah,
Some of them we're never going to be allowed to do. We just know that. Because like, I don't know.
Because they're too...
rights or like music rights, I don't know, or commercial or something. Like there's quite a lot of like licensing issues, which understandable.
Yeah,
you know?
fair enough, yeah.
And then other things, they just won't quite apply to certain storylines. So we'll just be like, oh, we'll save that for other things. And then sometimes we'll just roundtable it and we'll get the producers involved and we're like, right, obviously this is coming up. Where do you want us to take this?
Okay.
And like the producers are like dreams. They're like the nicest.
Oh, are they? That's great.
Yeah. The soaps are like they're the nicest place in TV.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
I don't know why anyone would want to leave, genuinely. Like,
and does that happen quite? Do people stick around for a while? Yeah.
Yeah. Like a lot of the people that I sit in the office with, they've been in there for like 20, 30 years.
Let's go right back to after you finish uni. So what did you do at uni?
It was the most pretentious title ever.
Okay.
They've changed it now, which is really good. But it was contemporary media practice.
Okay.
What is that?
It's just the word contemporary, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit, So it was like film, TV, photography, like loads of different things. So it was really cool. You get to like try loads of bits out.
Theory or practical?
A bit of both.
Okay, right, cool.
But then you leave and you go, oh no, I don't have a specialist subject and I don't know what to do. They always used to say at uni, like, oh, the interdisciplinary nature of the course, and like you get to like dip your toe. Is it dip your toe?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the right phrase or not. And like, it's true, it was great, but like there was other people who would be on like a film course specifically or TV or something, and they'd come out and be like, oh, I know what I want to do. I want to do this role.
Okay.
And I kind of came out and just went, I don't really know. And that isn't necessarily the course. That was just me as well. That was just I don't I don't know what I want to do.
Okay.
So I moved back to Buxton for a bit.
Okay.
Because I was like, I'm just going to go back to my old retail job whilst I figure this out.
Yeah, okay.
But it was really weird because like at the time, there was loads of people on LinkedIn going, oh, I've just got this and this and this. And I deleted LinkedIn because I was just like, I don't want to see that.
Did they really people in your year straight off the bat?
But they stayed in London. This was people that kind of like I loosely knew anyway.
Yeah,
like they were on different courses. But I think, I'm going to sound really big-headed when I say this, I think I'm probably doing like one of the people that are doing the best. Like
you can say
like
that.
now I am anyway.
Like, you're doing fantastically
like, you know,
well.
I went up really, really quickly. But I went back to Buxton for a bit and I was just like, oh, cool, Mum, I'm going to come live with you.
So did I.
Have you seen that episode of Friends where Rachel quits a job because they're like, oh, you're not going to get another job if you don't have the fear. So I did that and I was like, I'm going to have to do it because like I'm too comfortable here.
Yeah,
like I'm living back at my mum's house, earning an all right wage, not really having to pay anything there. So like,
but
why
you
would
might be doing that in 10 years if you're not careful.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So quit that. And then randomly, my mum just found this company online, this agency that did social media for TV.
Okay.
And they were looking for an apprentice. And I was like, I'm not going to go and do an apprenticeship because I've just...
Like an unpaid apprenticeship?
I think it was paid, but still like I was like, I don't really... Apprenticeships are great and I would definitely encourage people to do them. But I'd just been at uni. So I was like, I'm not going to do that.
Sure.
So I just rang them and was like, have you got anything else? And they were like, oh, do you want to just come and have a chat to us? So I was like, yeah, okay. And then I got like a freelance thing out of that. A couple of days a week. So that's how I like stepped into TV.
So you did that for a couple of years?
Yes. And then I was doing some other freelance stuff at the time. And then I thought, I don't want to be freelance anymore, like longer. And like, I need to move out of my mum's. This is not fair on her now.
Okay. Oh, you were commuting in from Buxton then?
Yeah. Right. So then that's when I got the job at Tuna Fish.
Okay. Got you.
And I was just like, oh, like let's not do TV for a while. And I think they all knew and like they'll be fine listening to this. They knew that I wanted to go back into TV like straight away. I was just like, and then I think the last 3 months I was there, all I spoke about was like all my like TV memories, and they were just like, yeah, you need to
go. You need to
go do that. So then I saw the assistant digital producer job at ITV going, and then there was one at Channel 4 going at the same time, but in Leeds.
Right.
So I was like, I'll use the ITV one as practice for Channel 4.
Really?
I was like, I don't want that one. Not there's anything wrong with that, but I really want a Channel 4.
Yeah, sure,
because they do some pretty cool stuff on digital.
Yeah,
I was like, that's what I want.
Right.
And then went to the ITV one, and that was it straight away. I was just like,
nice.
I didn't even go to my Channel 4 interview. Like I
You're
said
joking.
I said to them that
because
I got offered the ITV one pretty quick.
Okay.
So I was just like, I'm
lovely.
Pretty happy. Yeah.
Nice.
So 5 years later.
Fantastic.
I know.
What was ITV streaming then?
Wasn't really streaming. It was more of like catch up on the ITV hub kind of thing. Like
ITV
it wasn't.
Hub, that was it. Yeah, okay.
And then they rebranded / launched a new thing.
There was X.
Yes, ITVX.
Yeah. So how do you feel that your job specific, not stream in general, because that is genuinely a massive conversation that we could go on for about an hour. But like, how has it affected your team's job in terms of the content that you guys make now? Last year, at some point, we changed the way that you watch soap. So you can still watch them on linear. Yeah. But then you can also watch them at 7 a.m. the day of transmission. So say if Coronation Street's on a Monday, you can watch it at 7 a.m. Right, okay. But we kind of stick to our traditional, like, we're going to put our content out in the evening still. Okay. Because obviously most people are still watching it in the evening. Yeah, sure. Right. Okay. And I don't know, that approach is probably going to change in the next few years. There's a lot more people watching it at 7 a.m. now, which... Really? Yeah, there's quite a lot of people. Just before they go to work. Fans. Have the demographics of soap changed, like in the last... Since you've been with ITV? Yeah, but only slightly. Really? Like, the soaps fans are, like... Slightly younger? Yeah, they're slightly younger now. Yeah. Like, obviously, like, everyone knows what Corrie and Emmerdale is, right? Yeah, so, like, they grew up with it. So I suppose we've changed the audience ever so slightly, but just with our digital stuff. So I think linear-wise, it's probably still quite similar. Okay. Because, like, it's a family thing, right? Yeah, sure, right. Like, with your parents and stuff. Sure. That's what I did. Yeah. But I think with our stuff online, it's like what I was talking about before, like, they'll watch it through our stuff. So I suppose the demographics in that way have changed. Okay. Especially since, like, it's going to sound big-headed, but especially since I've taken over things as well. Because, like, I want to say I'm young. don't. Yeah. I'm still young. You're younger than me. There's a 3 in front of my age now, though, so don't know. Yeah. But I think, like, I'd like to think that I kind of understand their viewing habits and stuff online. Sure. So I'd like to think that we've brought more younger people in. Got you. I don't know if I can back that up, but we're gonna say that. So is it's safe to say that your digital content that you're producing is aimed at a much younger audience than the show itself is? Yes and no. So, like,
Some of it, yeah. So
Yeah.
like the stuff that we put on TikTok
Yeah.
and like Instagram or even YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then Facebook and Twitter is still that kind of like main choreo audience.
The end result of you guys making really awesome content, is it to drive people to watch the show? Like in a trickle down way, is that the end goal?
I would say that's the end. That's always been the end goal.
Yeah.
But we've been kind of leaning into the fact that actually, no, we just want them to interact with our stuff in general.
Okay.
Like even if they're just interacting with our stuff, but they're not necessarily sitting down to watch the show, that's still better than them not interacting with anything to do with choreo. Emmerdale.
I'm just thinking from a monetization point of view, because...
I mean, we monetize most of our stuff, to be fair.
Right.
So,
Okay.
I mean, we're not making as much as
broadcast.
A million people watching our broadcast.
Sure, right. Okay.
But, you know, we're still...
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So it's become its own standalone way of making content and money, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's really interesting.
The social content is obviously really, really important because how are they going to get... You're not going to get younger people interacting with it and drawn in and new people drawn into it unless you've got that.
Yes, sure.
I think
Yeah.
it'd be a bit weird without it. Like I sometimes think when there's like a massive TV show, like have you ever seen a massive TV show without its own social media? Like
Yeah, I guess.
it.
What's another example of like, we don't have to talk about soaps necessarily, but like I don't really watch, sorry, but I don't really watch soaps or anything like that. But what's an example of who does good social content like for around TV shows? Like I feel like something like Traitors must have a really good like social media team.
BBC, the anime, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
but,
right, okay.
But they do. I think they've got their own podcast, actually. I've never watched the Traitors, though.
No, neither have I. Right,
Oh, okay.
I thought you'd be totally into Traitors.
No,
I don't know
'cause
why.
everyone was like, watch the Traitors. And I was like, don't tell me what to do.
That's exactly what I
So,
said.
you know.
Right, Con behind the camera, you watch Traitors, right? Con
I
loves
feel
it.
like I'd probably get addicted, so
Yeah.
I don't need that.
Okay, well, I'm going to use lots of examples at BBC, so sorry.
That's fine.
We're not
Or,
ITV affiliates,
do you know what?
so...
Use Adolescence on Netflix because Netflix have done a really great campaign.
Really good campaigns
and
around
this
it,
is where social. I was thinking about this on the train.
Yeah.
This is where social media is really good and adds to the world of the show.
Yeah.
Because obviously the way that was filmed,
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah, sure.
But you wouldn't have been able to see how it was filmed unless you had the social media and behind the scenes of the show.
I think it gets people to watch the show, all that behind the scenes stuff, without it just... I don't mean just another Stephen Graham type show, but like I'm a sucker for that sort of stuff anyway, so I would have watched it anyway.
Him like just sat
Yeah, exactly.
on his own.
It's like a hook, isn't it? That like, oh, have you seen how they made that? And I watched a load of... I tried to limit myself with the amount of behind the scenes stuff because I didn't want to give away the story, obviously, but I'm a sucker for that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So, but I suppose that's that's quite an outlier though, isn't it, for like a drama to have that sort of content? Because when I think of like TV shows that have really good, or not, I can't comment on whether it's good or not, but it seems to be quite like elaborate social media like content around it. I guess like Strictly and things like that, and any of the stuff with like
entertainment shows.
Shows, I suppose like have so much of that stuff, even like Gogglebox and things like that, like have so much of that stuff around it that like, well, I think you said it before, like, do you think shows, it must be so integral to their viewership now of that getting the numbers that they do, having all that content as well? That's not really a question. I'm just saying that.
I'm just agreeing with you anyway.
You're just like, yes, Mark. Yeah. Because I'm saying a lot of things here that are completely unsubstantiated.
Well, I mean, I'm saying a lot of things as well, though, that I'm like, this is not backed up by any stats or facts. This is literally my opinion.
But I mean, technology has changed. Like the way that people view TV, view their TV programs has changed. Like in our lifetime, has changed so much. And like soaps are still going strong, right? So
they are really strong, to be fair. Like the figures are still really good. And I think it's really good to see that the streaming figures are really good for them as well, like really strong. Like I think it was a really good thing to start dropping them at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
And I think the next iteration of that, and I have no say over this because I'm not and the big boss at ITV, but the next iteration of that is dropping them as like a weekly kind of like box set. And they have done that in the past, actually, when there's been like football and stuff, because whenever football's on, obviously it ruins the schedules, and then the fans get, rightly so, like, you know, they get really angry because they're like, no, I want to sit down and watch it.
So they drop it at the start of the week, and then like do your numbers show that, oh yeah, people just watch it, they just don't binge it in one go?
Yeah, although I think the thing with soaps is obviously because quite a lot of the fan base are like older generation skewing.
Yeah, sure.
It's the technology aspect of it. Sometimes it's making sure that like they have that technology in place to be able to watch it.
Sure. But nowadays, that must be part of the core. I guess maybe 5 years ago that wasn't the case, but nowadays.
Yeah, but nowadays I would say.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it is.
What advice would you give to people who are, let's not say leaving university, let's say leaving high school / college?
Okay.
If they wanted to get into, not necessarily just TV, but I guess like
creative,
or digital. Yeah, digital. Yeah.
See, usually I'd be like, go to uni. Uni's great, and it is. Like, I'm really glad I went. But I also know how hard it is to get a job after you. Not necessarily with me. I was quite lucky, but I know how difficult it is, especially now. Like, the job market's insane now.
Yeah.
So I'm tempted to say, look at apprenticeships. I think obviously you get some practical hands-on experience, and I think like ITV do them, like BBC do them, like loads of kind of broadcasters do them. But then obviously there's loads of different digital things that you can do. And as soon as you've got some experience in digital, if you then want to go do digital and TV, I'm sure you can like, you know, like I'd employ you.
Do you think it's harder to get into your industry now, like 8 or 9 years on from leaving uni, than it was when you left?
I think it's probably just different.
Right.
It was probably quite difficult back then as well. I think I was really lucky that I just picked up the phone that day and was like, hi, have you got anything going that isn't that apprenticeship, basically?
Right, okay.
So yeah, I think it's really difficult. And I think you need to try and get work experience. As it's really difficult because you can't get a job unless you've got work experience, but then trying to get work experience and get a job, like it's a circle, it's a vicious circle, and it's really difficult.
Do you get a lot of people at ITV contacting you guys looking for work experience? I mean, I guess you guys have very like formal like ways to apply for that. Yeah. You know, you as far as I'm aware, there's always kind of work experience slots and things like that.
There is formal ways of doing it, but then there was someone, was it last year or the year before? She just messaged me like loads on LinkedIn and messaged me loads on Coronation Street's Instagram. Okay. Because we followed her for like some reason. I don't know why. She messaged me loads and I was like, yeah, okay, I'll get you some work experience. Because she'd messaged me so much that I was like, yeah, okay.
Well, she's clearly keen. So
I'm not saying please message me like a million times work experience because, you know, I'll always do what I can to help because I know how difficult it is then.
Yeah, sure.
But then I also find I can't help everyone. Like I can't.
Yeah, of course.
But like try and get work experience, and it doesn't have to be in TV. Like, you know, it's hard to get work experience in TV because everyone wants work experience in TV. Yeah. Because it's cool. Like, sure. You know, like it is cool. It's fun. But yeah, I think some sort of work experience. Okay. And then I think it's just persevere. Like you just need to be really resilient with it, and like you're gonna get knocked back loads. Yeah. And it's gonna suck because it's horrible. Yeah. But you just need to keep going with it. Yeah.
So what if somebody came to you and they wanted work experience, or if they were coming to you for a job, would you be bothered whether they had a degree or not?
No.
Would it? But because that's how I feel. Like anybody who applied for a job with me, we employed somebody recently for a post-production job, and I couldn't care less if they had a degree or not. It was so far down my list of requirements that, you know, showreel was before that, like that they weren't a weirdo, which is like,
they just need to get on with you, right?
Yeah,
like that's totally the most important thing, that you get on with them and then you can train them up. That's fine. Yes. But yeah, I'm not bothered about a degree. Like,
yeah, that's interesting.
It's like I just said, I think it's like you've got to be resilient with it, like persevere with it. I think that's the thing. And like as soon as you get offered some experience, like just be super eager and be super nice. I think that's something, like if you're going for an interview, be really nice to the receptionist because they're going to talk about you afterwards.
Yeah, totally.
Like, I find that bizarre, and like certain people in our building, you wouldn't know that they're like super senior management. Okay. Like be nice to everyone that you see.
Yes. Because that's just good.
Everyone's going to talk about you.
You should do that anyway. Yeah, totally. Good advice.
And just be enthusiastic about it as well.
We were supposed to film this last week, but you were dying of some disease that you picked up in the Sahara.
Not in the Sahara though, like just on the plane on the way back or something.
Okay. Why were you in the Sahara?
So I was raising money for a charity that's quite local to Buxton.
Yeah. So is it? I didn't realise it. So I didn't realise it was...
Yeah, Blythe House Hospice. Yes. I think they're in Chapel.
Okay. So I've raised money for them as well, but I didn't know that.
Have you?
Yeah.
What have you done?
I did a Christmas Santa Dash thing.
My sister's getting me to do that this year.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, let's do Couch to 5K together and do that. And I was a bit just like, I'm not a runner.
Yeah, I didn't realise that like it would... like my mum signed me up for it because my dad was supposed to do it and he was like, I'm not doing that. So you did it. So I did it, and I didn't look into it how much, like how far it was or anything. Yeah, it's 5K.
How far is it?
It's 5K. Okay. Yeah, but like,
I don't think I can run though. I'm not a runner.
Okay.
Yeah, my sister basically was like, "Oh, I'm going to do this," and I was like, "Yeah, I'll do that." It was a proper ADHD, like impulsive decision. And I went back to my partner Adam, and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to do this," and he was like, "No, you won't." I was like, no, yeah, I am. And he was like,
right.
Taz, no, you won't. I was like, right. So I signed up, and then he was like, right, you wouldn't have signed up if I hadn't have done that. So I was like, the whole reverse psychology.
Right. Well, it worked, there you go.
So yeah, it was 6 days in total, the trip, but there was obviously travel on either side.
Yeah.
50 kilometers in the Sahara Desert.
Wow. So you started from, where do you fly to then?
Marrakesh.
Right,
yeah.
okay.
Which is great, by the way.
I
Everyone
love
should go to
Marrakesh.
Marrakesh.
It's fantastic. It's really good.
It was good.
I got some insane food poisoning there, but it was
Did you?
really good.
Okay.
The food poisoning wasn't really good. My experience of Marrakesh was fantastic.
Yeah.
It's pretty chaotic, but I loved it.
Yeah, I was
great.
disappointed that it wasn't more chaotic, because everyone has said to me, like my mother-in-law's been recently, and she was like, oh, Taz, I don't know if you'll like it.
Did you go into the souks or the market?
We went to the market bit, but we didn't have much time in Marrakesh, so I wish we'd had more time.
Yeah.
But then it's like a 9-hour drive to the desert.
Right, okay,
so we stayed, we broke that up, thankfully, because I don't think my neck could have handled like 9 hours in like, I'm getting old
in what?
now. I don't think I could have just been in
a car?
bus. Yeah.
Oh, okay, right, okay.
For like
so
9
you
hours.
go from Marrakesh
to I don't know how to say it. It's a town beginning with O, and I know that they film loads of like big like gladiator films and stuff around there. And we drove.
There's a film set there, isn't there? Yes.
Yeah.
Very mean. So it's on the way to the Atlas Mountains.
Yes, so we drove through the Atlas Mountains.
Right. Okay.
Which
cool.
was really cool.
Yeah,
like,
it was really cool. That's
cool.
when I had really bad food poisoning.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was not fun.
I've heard that lots of people that go get food poisoning, so I was really worried. I was like, before the desert we are.
But it's like a running joke that anywhere I go, like.
Do you get food poisoning?
Yeah.
So I didn't get food poisoning, but I wasn't very well, and I'm happy to talk about this as well. Like,
okay, right, we're going too far.
We'll get on to poo at some point, which is just
That's the cold open though.
Just what happens. Like, and it's been my leading thing that I've gone in and said to everyone. I'm like, oh my god, this thing happened. But we'll
right, okay. So but 9 hours, you get to the desert.
So we get to the desert. And then so we got to the desert and it was like lunchtime, so like we had lunch, but like I was really groggy and like I'd only just woken up from my nap, and I was a bit like, oh, I don't really want to eat too much. That was a mistake. I had a massive blood sugar crash like whilst we were doing the trek. Everyone was like, Taz,
so what, the first like 10 kilometers into it?
And everyone was like, Taz, you're not making sense. What's going on? So I had big blood sugar crash, and everyone said to me like, oh, have you been having your electrolytes and stuff? And I was like,
my what?
I'm like, what? Am I supposed to be doing that? Like, what? So then...
Because it's like 37 degrees, right?
Yeah. It was hot. And I am ginger. So,
those two things don't mix.
This was the most out of my comfort zone I could have ever been as well.
Right.
Like, don't do well in the heat at all. I've never camped. Like,
You've never camped? No. This was your first time camping?
Like, why would I want to sleep in a tent? And
Did you have to set up the tent as well?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, there was lots of Berber guides with us. They were amazing. One of them I nicknamed, don't know why we nicknamed him Theo, but in my head he was my desert boyfriend, just because like he just got me through it. And when I say got me through it, I mean he just kept dragging me up these dunes towards the end, because I was like, I can't, I'm just done now.
They're incredible people. They speak so many languages.
Amazing.
Because they have their own language, don't they? There's Berber, but then
they also spoke Arabic, French, English,
mental.
A couple of others, I think. They were amazing.
The guy that drove us into the Atlas Mountains was like, he spoke like fluently at least 10 languages.
Yeah, they're amazing.
And I was like, literally in fetal position on the back seat, like almost crying. I was that ill. And Sophie was just having this fantastic conversation with this Berber guy who was driving him into the Atlas Mountains. Every now and again, just be like, "You all right?" Yeah.
But they're great.
Yeah, sorry.
No,
I can't
believe. But they're great. They like, and then we had like a team of like cooks and like camel handlers and like all sorts, and like it was so cool.
So
like,
all you had to do was walk.
Yeah, you make that sound really easy. But yeah, pretty much all we had to do was walk. And then the next morning I was like, I'm raring to go. This is great. Having so many electrolytes, and I mean so many electrolytes. So many of those little like sugar like energy tablet things.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I was popping them. Like, I was like, right, because I didn't want to be the worst one.
Yeah.
I was really conscious of that.
So how big was the group?
It was about 25 of us, I think.
Right.
And obviously all quite local, so like it was quite nice.
Yeah,
like I say
cool.
local to like,
Blythe House. Yeah, cool.
And it was really nice, and there was like there was someone called Julie who was like my desert mum, and then there was like Chris who was like my desert stepdad, because Julie literally like got me through like my blood sugar thing. She was literally feeding me like these biscuits, because I was out of it. I was completely out of it, and all I was thinking was, how do I get back to Marrakesh? Because this is me. I'm rubbish. I'm not going to be able to do it.
Right.
So I was just like, this is it. Like I'm not cut out for this. I kept joking about dying, but I was like, I'm actually going to die. This is really bad.
Oh my
but
goodness.
I'm making this sound awful. Like, they're doing it next year. You should do it. So like,
just to have all the electrolytes.
Yeah,
and
well,
like...
no, don't, if you're not used to it.
Oh, okay, because it makes you quite ill.
Because the next night I was slept in my tent again. My sister was sleeping out in the stars, and then halfway in the night she had to come in because there was a big sandstorm.
Okay.
And she was like, you're all good. I was like, yeah, fine, all good. And woke up the next morning quite early and I was like, I'm not okay. Something's going on. Picture the scene.
No, I don't want to.
You are going to, though. I don't know why I keep leading with this. I keep just telling everyone. Like, I literally, like, the Emmerdale producer as well, Laura, she won't mind me saying this. I love her so much, but she was like, no, I'm not going to donate to you until I see a really, like, disgusting picture of you. I want you to look like
like you've done
shit.
some work. Like,
so, like, I sent her this selfie and I was like, I look awful. She was like, no, sorry, not good enough. And I was like, I shat on my hand this morning. She was like... She was like, yeah, I'll send you some money over. It was just difficult.
What was the bathroom situation?
Toilet tent. So like,
oh yeah, right, okay.
Hole in the ground.
Yeah, sure, okay.
It was windy. Wasn't very well. I really bonded with the group. No, you can laugh. It's fine. I really bonded with the group afterwards. I went and cried afterwards, and people were like, "Why are you crying?" And I was like, "Because I pooed on my hand."
I bet you were not the only person to be going through that sort of stuff.
I actually think I was.
No, I don't believe that.
Or other people weren't as vocal about it.
Yeah,
maybe
was it.
Maybe there's a reason people don't.
Yeah,
talk
most
about
people don't
poo.
go on a podcast and talk about how they shat on their hand.
Just to clarify, it was like a tiny bit. I didn't like do. And then Rick, my old manager from Tunafish, thought it was like purposeful. He was like, "Oh, it can't have like."
What?
He was like, why? And I was like, well, I didn't mean to. Like, it was windy.
Okay.
Yeah. But after that, it was great. I felt fine.
Okay, so after the second day, it was plain sailing. It was great.
Yeah, it was all good.
Oh, nice.
And it was genuinely like amazing.
And did they raise a lot of money, I hope?
I think in total it was about 45 grand, like just complete profit to them,
oh, amazing.
Which is really good. So like I'm always going to do stuff for Blythe House.
And what do you know specifically what they're going to use it for? Or is it just like ongoing?
I think they've got a roaming car service.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And it was going to basically help fund that for like, made me really sad though, because it's like 6 weeks or 5 weeks or something.
What?
And I was like, oh.
That's it?
Oh my God, I need to raise so much more money for you, like doing loads of stuff.
See why they're doing it every
so
year.
I think they're doing another one next year. So they're doing a Sahara and then I think they've got another somewhere else planned.
Okay.
Next year. So I was like,
well, I'm not going to sign up for the Sahara
if it's not 38 degrees, I'll do it.
Just do the Santa Dash.
I'm going to do the Santa Dash anyway,
Walk,
although I've said it now, so I actually have to do it. But that's fine.
You've put it on camera.
But like, I'm really glad I did it. Like,
it sounds
there was people. It was really funny. There was loads of people like sunbathing and stuff at any opportunity, and I was just like, "Where's the shit?" So, but yeah, I honestly like I would recommend it to people.
Okay.
But I would say get used to your electrolytes. Eat on the first day.
Wear a nappy.
Yeah. I was going to say take lots of hand sanitizer and wipes just in case you like have a bit of an accident in a toilet tent. But you know,
fair enough. Nice.
I've washed it lots just to clarify.